She looks into the mirror and it turns her into someone else. Amen.
This is not me! This is not there!
Down her face. Her parents rush out of their rooms to see their once proud and beautiful daughter, looking so ugly like an old woman of 100-year-old. Amen was ashamed to look in a mirror. The villagers talks about her ugliness. The children runs wherever she passes. The young men and women gossip about her. That once proud and arrogant girl became shadow of herself. Amen parents was so worried about her situation, moving from place to place trying to get solution. Before her change, story time. Amen was very beautiful, carrying herself with grace. Because of her beauty, she became so arrogant, proud of herself, and looked down on everyone. People used to turn their heads when she walked through the village square. Mothers would pull their sons aside, whispering that such beauty was rare and dangerous. Amen knew it too. She walked with her chin high, her steps slow, enjoying the way eyes followed her. When others greeted her, she barely replied. When the poor asked for help, she scoffed. When elders tried to advise her, she smiled with disrespect and walked away. Her beauty became her identity. She believed it would never fade, never change, never betray her. Each morning she stood before the mirror, touching her smooth skin, admiring her long hair, smiling at her reflection as though it were another person who existed only to praise her. Then that morning came. The scream that tore through the house was not just fear, it was disbelief. Amen staggered backward from the mirror, her legs weak, her heart pounding as if it wanted to escape her chest. She touched her face again and again, hoping her fingers were lying to her. Wrinkled skin, sunken eyes, a mouth twisted by age and sorrow. She covered her face and cried until her chest ached. When she ran outside, she hoped the fresh air would wake her from what she believed was a terrible dream. Instead, the screams grew louder. Neighbors rushed out, and their faces froze when they saw her. Some gasped, some laughed nervously, others crossed themselves and stepped back. From that day, Amen stopped leaving the house. When she did, she wrapped cloth tightly around her face, but the whispers followed her. Children pointed at her with cruel curiosity. Some ran away screaming. Others followed her at a distance, mocking her slow steps and bent posture. She heard everything, every laugh, every insult, every whispered story that grew darker each day. Some said she was cursed, others claimed she angered the spirits. A few said it was punishment for her pride, though they spoke softly, afraid of being heard. At night, Amen lay awake, replaying her past in painful detail. The faces she ignored, the tears she dismissed, the greetings she never returned. Her beauty, once a crown, now felt like a crime she was paying for in full. Her parents did not rest. They sold possessions, borrowed money, and traveled long distances. They visited herbalists, spiritual leaders, and elders known for wisdom. Some gave portions that did nothing. Some demanded sacrifices that brought no change. Others shook their heads and said the matter was deeper than the body. Each failed attempt added weight to Amen's silence. She spoke less, ate little, and avoided even her parents' eyes. Mirrors were covered. Polished metal was hidden. Water bowls were kept away from her. Still, she could feel her reflection everywhere. In the way people stared too long. In the way doors closed quickly when she passed. Once while sitting alone behind the house, she overheard two women talking. They spoke about the old Amen, the proud one, the one who mocked others. One of them said quietly that maybe now she understood how it felt to be looked down on. Amen's chest tightened, but she said nothing. She only lowered her head and let the words sink deep inside her. Her parents returned one evening, more exhausted than ever. Their clothes were dusty, their eyes heavy. They said nothing at first. They only sat beside their daughter, holding her hands as the sun set slowly behind the trees. Amen felt their fear, their love, and their helplessness all at once. The night grew quiet, but Amen could not sleep. Her thoughts were loud. She wondered if her beauty had blinded her, if her pride had deafened her to warnings she never noticed. She wondered whether this change was meant to teach her something she had refused to learn when life was easy. Outside, the village settled into uneasy silence, yet stories continued to grow in the dark. Some people watched the house with suspicion, others waited, curious to see what would happen next. And inside that house, a girl who once believed she was untouchable sat in the shadows, changed in ways far deeper than her face, waiting, not knowing what tomorrow would bring. Amen was the only daughter of her parents. They were almost in their forties when she was born, and because of that long wait, they treated her like fragile gold. Her mother, Mama Nkiru, never allowed her to sweep the compound. Her father, Papa Obasi, chased her away from the kitchen whenever she tried to help. Leave it, they would say. Your hands are not made for stress. Amen grew up believing she was different, special, untouchable. Every afternoon, when the sun softened and the village came alive, Amen would sit under the old mango tree at the village square. The tree was called Ube Ndu, the tree of life. It was where stories were told, deals were made, and futures were planned. Amen did not go there to listen, she went there to be seen. In her hand was always her small pocket mirror, round and shiny. She checked her face every minute. If the wind touched her hair, she adjusted it. If sweat dared to form, she wiped it gently, afraid it would ruin her beauty. Young men passed by on purpose. Some pretended to be going somewhere else. Others came boldly. One afternoon, Chukwudi, a hard-working farmer from a nearby compound, gathered courage and spoke. Amen. Good afternoon. She looked at him through the mirror before turning her head. You fit take care of me? She asked, her voice sharp and proud. Chukwudi smiled nervously. I dey try. I get land, goats, and I work hard. Amen laughed, a soft but cruel laugh. You one ugly day find beautiful and gorgeous girl like me? She said loudly. For your family, una get fine girl. Abeg no be your type, I need biko. Laughter followed. Chukwudi walked away with his head low. Another day, Sadiq, a trader from the next village, tried his luck. He spoke about plans, business, and marriage. Amen did not even let him finish. Since you no get money, she said, waving her mirror, you need to fight your way in order to get me. The word spread fast. Amen enjoyed it. Her beauty made her fearless. Young girls admired her deeply. Ngozi, Halima, and Ifeoma followed her everywhere, watching how she walked, how she spoke, how she rejected men without blinking. They wanted to be like her. Amen is lucky, they whispered. No woman is as fine as her. Amen heard them and smiled. Admiration fed her pride. Young men came from distant villages. Some brought gifts. Some brought promises. Some brought their parents. Mama Nkiru would smile politely. Papa Obasi would listen carefully. But Amen always had the final word, and her word was usually no. At home, she did nothing. She ate, slept, admired herself, and planned how tomorrow would bring more attention. Her parents worried quietly, but said nothing. They feared correcting her would dim her light. Then, one market day, 7 years after the last one, the Obinze market opened again. The Obinze market did not open like an ordinary market. It arrived like a rumor that slowly became truth. For 7 long years, the field beyond the forest stayed empty. Then one morning, drums sounded before sunrise. By noon, traders had appeared as if the ground itself released them. Mama Nkiru tied her wrapper and smiled. "This market is a blessing," she said. Papa Obasi nodded, already planning what to buy. Amen dressed carefully, choosing her finest cloth. She did not go to buy. She went to be admired. At Obinze market, voices mixed with music. Spices burned the nose. Animals cried. Strange items lay on mats. As Amen walked, people stepped aside to stare. She enjoyed every second. That was when she noticed an old woman sitting alone under a torn canopy. Her goods were few: charms, beads, and one mirror. It was not shiny like Amen's pocket mirror. The edges were dark, almost burnt. The glass was deep, as if it held shadows. Amen stopped. "What are you selling, Mama?" she asked. The old woman looked up slowly. Her eyes were sharp, calm, and unsettling. "A mirror," she said. "It shows what cannot be hidden." Amen laughed. "All mirrors show beauty." The woman shook her head. "This one shows truth." Those words should have warned her. But pride has a way of deafening the heart. Amen paid quickly and walked away, feeling pleased that she owned something rare. That night, after everyone slept, she locked her door. She placed the mirror on her table and stood before it, smiling confidently. That was when everything changed. At first, she saw herself beautiful, smooth, glowing. Then, the reflection shifted. Her smile twisted. Her skin sagged. Lines carved themselves deeply into her face. Her eyes sank. Her hair thinned. The beauty she worshipped collapsed in seconds. She screamed. She ran. And when her parents saw her, their joy turned to terror. Amen no longer sat under the mango tree. The mirror she loved became her enemy. The girls who followed her avoided her. The men who once chased her crossed the road when they saw her. Mama Nkiru cried at night. Papa Obasi walked the village with worry written on his face. Elders whispered, children mocked. And Amen, once the pride of Obendu village, sat quietly in the corner of her room, listening to the echoes of her own words, realizing that beauty was never the power she thought it was. From that day, Obinze market vanished again. The field returned to silence. 7 years would pass before it opened again, if it ever did. Mama Nkiru and Papa Obasi searched everywhere. They returned to the forest. They questioned elders. They sought healers and spiritual men. Some said the mirror was a test. Others said it was punishment. A few whispered that only the same market could undo what it had done. For 7 years, Mama Nkiru cried. Amen listened quietly. The mirror was gone, broken in fear, but its lesson remained. She no longer mocked anyone. When children laughed, she bowed her head. When poor women passed, she greeted them gently. She helped where she could. For the first time, she saw people beyond herself. Years passed. When the seventh year came and the drums sounded again, Amen did not rush to the market. Her parents did. They returned with nothing but peace on their faces. That night, Amen stood before a bowl of water and saw her reflection return, slowly, gently, naturally. Not the beauty of pride, but the beauty of humility. And Amen understood at last. Beauty is a gift, not a weapon. Pride blinds the heart before it blinds the eyes. The moment she looked down on others, she lost herself. When she learned humility, she found herself again.